Welcome back. So we're keeping our focus on that report, Nigeria exiting recession. Well, this time we've got Pascal Odibo, a financial consultant. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Hello, sir.
Well, we know government has responded. They said, well, yes, we've seen that report, but it would have been better if it's felt by ordinary Nigerians, improving their living conditions and standards. And then one wonders, what do we do with this report?
Reports. Thank you, and it's good to see you guys again. Now, the truth of the matter is that I think for once, I'm beginning to see that government is getting realistic. They're beginning to filter, the information is beginning to filter down that, you know what, it's dropping down from 35,000 feet to on the ground zero. And I think that is a good news. That's good news.
As a result of this reaction to the report?
No, the reaction. For me, you know, stimulus is short. It's the response that is elongated. How you respond, somebody slaps you, you know, is just an event. But how you now begin to respond to that individual is a function of maybe training, restraint, and all that. And that's what I'm concerned about. Statistics all over the world has always been, you know, there have always been numbers. Human beings are not numbers. They're not generators that you put fuel and you start them, and it begins to function. So my take, first of all, is I'm glad that government has received the information with guided optimism, cautious optimism, they will say, because they can begin to feel that people are not, it's not reflective. These numbers does not in any way reflect the circumstances of the people. Listen, the ruler of Dubai, everybody here goes to, you know, with their politicians, when they are well and when they are not well, is vision, and it's documented. This is I'm not talking about hearsay, or I mean, this is documented. This is things he has spoken in conversation. Is the essence of government is to make people happy.
Well, so people, not everybody.
Make people happy now. Yeah, people. I mean, if you want to break it down to everybody, then you can begin to go to the extreme. But the essence of government is to make people happy. So it's because of the fact, if that's the corporate vision, or sovereign vision, or political vision, then that begins to determine the strategy and the action plans. Now, those strategy and action plans,
yeah. Isn't that where the ERGP come in?
Absolutely. So if you ask me, and I like what the president said I think he's in Dara, in receiving the Nigerian president, saying that he wants to see it reflect in the life of the people. That's commendable. And I think he now needs to put the pressure on his agents.
In getting that to reflect on the lives of the people, what do you think will be the immediate steps that the government and its policies will be addressing?
Listen, there is no way they haven't been addressing something. It is whether that which they are addressing has reached a critical threshold to trigger the kind of lifestyle that we want to see. There are things, if you want people to be employed, which should be a major index, isn't it? There are things you will need to do to suck in numbers of people. And I keep saying it every time I come here. The past administration started the automotive motor policy, the auto policy, something that encouraged all these vehicles that Nigerians buy here to set up factories here, give them some measure of incentives. And I think all the Coscaris of this world, Globe Motors, and all the various car dealers, as it were. Even I remember one of the first tranches of Nissan started producing the Pathfinder here. Those are things that if you do them, they will suck in people in terms of employment, because they hire in their thousands. If the refinery that Dangote is building takes off, it will suck in people. So they need to go for the big tickets. You know, Kofi said it, you know, if you want to fill in a bottle with bottles and sand and pebbles, you don't put in the pebbles and the sand first. You put in the big blocks first. Then you put in the pebbles, then you put in the sand, and then you put in the water. The same container will containerize it. So it's just strategy. Being able to do the first things first will make a whole lot of difference. And monitoring implementation. The devil is really in the implementation. It's not the EGRP. Anybody can go and check that document. You will see we'll have copied a lot of things all together and put them together. I'm not impressed by documentation. I'm more impressed by implementation. How much of your people are passionate to implement those documentations? We're not lack of document. Remember seats and needs.
This report invariably
2010 reporting.
This report invariably puts us back to pre-recession time, where we had a balance. Zero would assume a balanced state, and now we have gone beyond that by 0.55%. So that invariably brings us to pre-2015 period. So we are in 2017 now. That's a 2-year backlog. How will we progress from this 2-year backlog to a point where we are beginning to see a tangible